talk about speciation. What is a species? The most common definition of a species is when organisms are so closely related that they can interbreed and then produce viable, fertile offspring. Organisms that are hybrids or kind of crossbred, like the liger or the mule, are not a true species because they cannot actually have babies themselves. So mules can only be produced when you cross a boy donkey with a girl horse. A liger can only be crossed with a male lion and a female tiger. The other picture I have here is of a zonkey, which is a cross between a donkey and a zebra. Zonkies, mules, and ligers can only be made with that cross. There are several other definitions of species, some based on fossils, some based on niche or where the organism and how the organism lives, and some based on the appearance of the organism. There are pluses and minuses to all of these, but the most common definition used is the one being able to produce offspring. And how does speciation occur? There are two major types of speciation, and they all happen because somehow they become reproductively isolated, meaning that the two organisms can no longer reproduce. Sympatric speciation is when the organism is located in the same geographical area and the reproduction doesn't happen because of many reasons other than geography separating them. This could be the time of year, day, they mate, their mating dance, or several other factors that we will talk about in a little bit. And then we have allopatric speciation. Allopatric speciation is when there is a physical separation, such as a river, canyon, ocean, some geographical barrier that's separating the two. Looking at some of these speciation barriers, we have pre-zygotic, which means before fertilization, and then post-zygotic, which is after fertilization. Let's take a look at some pre-zygotic isolations. We have habitat. Habitat is truly where the organism lives. So if they don't live in the same area, they are not going to be able to mate. Temporal isolation is the time of year that the organism mates. These skunks, one mates in the spring, one mates in the fall. Behavioral isolation is how the mate is found. In the picture below is the blue-footed booby, which has a very specific mating dance. And those birds that don't pick up on that mating dance don't mate with that male. Then we have mechanical isolation. Mechanical isolation is that the actual parts and pieces are not going to work to fit together in order for mating to occur. Then we have gametic isolation, where the gametes are so different that they can't fertilize each other. And now comes fertilization. So if fertilization has happened, then there are post-zygotic barriers. We have reduced hybrid viability, meaning that the hybrid that's formed doesn't survive for very long. We could have reduced hybrid fertility, meaning that the hybrid, pictured here, the mule, cannot actually produce its own offspring. And then we have hybrid breakdown, that if the hybrid does survive and does have babies, it doesn't last for very many generations. The wholphin is actually one that fits underneath this, where the whale and the dolphin hybrid has actually been known to have its own babies, but the baby didn't last. The hybrid's baby, the wholphin baby, did not last very long and was not able to survive. The rate of speciation is something that's under big debate. There are two general schools of thought. We have gradualism. Gradualism is a very slow process over time. This is the thoughts of Darwin. He had this idea of a gradual change over time and gradually then lead to new species. Then we have punctuated equilibrium. Punctuated equilibrium is a little bit more rapid in its process, where there are big events that all of a sudden change the organism into a new species. This is a little bit newer school thought that shows a rapid event changing that organism. and this is what you should know.